In this video, we'll take a look at Ollie Schniederjans, both his golf swing and his putting stroke. First, we'll take a look here at a golf swing, and this is a little microcosm of how he tends to play some of his rounds. This swing here, down and then up out of it, misses a little bit left. Pretty interesting. He is an amazing, statistically amazing putter. Not as great a ball striker. He does hit it very far. So he's got the power, he's got the putting. So let's take a look at his golf swing. First, if we take a look here at an approach shot, athletic setup, pretty good knee flex there. He's a pretty tall guy, gets pretty low at address, and then as he takes this club up, gets it up very quickly. Good swing plane going back. Club face does get quite open at the top though, pretty interesting. Weaker grip position probably accounts for that. And then he definitely drops. So he's going to go downward like we've seen some players, sort of the current trend, dropping from where they start here and starting to put that down pressure into the legs, body dropping angles as well. And we've seen some of the better ball strikers or more consistent ball strikers stay in that angle and rotate to get that club tracking on plane. And he tends to get up out of his shots, which gets the club handle up off the plane, as we can see here, whereas a lot of the other players, when they come back through, when they're down and then rotating, the hands at this point are on the plane and that club tracks directly through on plane over here, which gives you more face control and better accuracy. With his, he's down and then up, and then he's forced to deal with what happens at the bottom. Sometimes he moves a little bit forward as well, all those things causing some problems at the bottom. From this angle, we can see a slightly weaker left-hand grip than some, not crazy weak, but slightly weaker. Club face slightly even open at address. And he picks that thing up. And once again, there's a slight forward move. We definitely know he's moving downward and forward and then back up out of it. In that type of a move, when you're down and then up out of it, it does create rotation problems with the club face on the way through. So some days you're hanging on and blocking them, and other days it's flipping over and going left. And so in his case, if he was to learn to sit down with a little less lateral action, he could probably then get cleared out and get that club back on the plane. This particular shot, he comes down, moves up and out of it, and is ahead of it slightly, and that tends to block it. And this one ended up about 25, 30 feet right of the flag. Not a terrible miss, but certainly offline for a relatively short shot. If we look at a driver swing here, not the best angle, but we can see sort of that down move, center him up here a little bit. And if we look at the posture angle at address, watch what happens during the golf swing. Like we said, he tends to pick it up, doesn't always wind it as much, but he is obviously super flexible. Turns his shoulders to 90 with his hips not turning a whole lot. And then that move there, the power move, and he bombs it. He hits it well over 300 yards, 320. So he really hits it out there. Upper echelon on tour of driving distance from that great power move right there. But like we said, does he stay in those angles? No, he wants to come up out. And the more you come out of that with that position at the top, slightly more open club face, tougher to control week in and week out. And he's just kind of banking on getting it so far down there that he has a lot of wedges into the green. For those of you that see this swing and have a similar motion where you get that club up there and it's, left arm sort of along the shoulder plane, and if you start to sit down and create the force, that's great. But you have to get cleared out and not jump out of it. And the more he jumps, the more he's going to hit it right and left. So just imagine yourself staying in that posture and still rotating through. And I'm sure the weeks he has that working the way he wants to, he hits it straight enough with all that power, he's good to go. The other weeks where he's jumping too much and just can't control it, I'm sure the ball is not as playable as the other weeks. For this shot, this is the follow-up shot to the tee ball. Went slightly right, not much. This is a better swing. This one here, he stays in that posture and returns the club to the plane beautifully. The shot was accurate, just a little long, probably that coming out of the rough didn't have as much spin on it. But as he gets up to the top here, he does sit down. His normal move there, the club is already planing out beautifully. You can see that club head working its way down the plane. Right forearm and hands now almost on the plane. And now they are. And you can see this one, he stayed in it. Totally flat-footed. You need that with his golf swing to stay down as long as he can. Really stayed in this one and then came up. So this one here, much better, gives you more face control and, of course, ball direction control. Now, I'm sure he's a great putter for a lot of reasons. He probably reads the putts very well. He's good at green reading. But a couple things he does, and he's changed his grip a little bit over the years. He's changed the putter a little bit as well. His left hand, if you look at it, very weak position or turned over toward the hole, sort of almost looking into the palm of his hand. If he was to look down there, it's quite interesting. Not quite what you see on from the players. In the right hand, also turned more underneath. And he has used sort of a claw grip and some other grips as well. But he really, I can see with that left hand, he's trying to completely control it, keeping this sort of one piece here to completely control that grip moving toward the target through the hitting zone with no breakdown. He's even hit some putts with the right hand almost off of the putter. So I can tell he's trying to be very left-hand dominant. And his stats are great. No matter how he grips it, he tends to putt really well, averaging under 1.7 putts per green. A lot of his rounds, it's a just incredible putting stat. And great, something you can really copy. Eyes over the ball, good setup, but this left wrist, totally solid with the grip moving toward the target as he's striking the ball. Okay, let's see if we can get sort of a close-up of that left wrist as he comes through here. And you can see it, that left hand underneath, both hands sort of turned with almost the palms upward. Very interesting grip. And this wrist completely solid, almost bowed under a little bit this way. And you can see what that does when he comes through. The grip keeps moving, and the putter face is completely stable as he comes through. Had he made a few more putts, the Bermuda tournament, he would have won for sure. He certainly had his chances, but even with that, his putting stats for the week were incredible, as they usually are most weeks. And lastly, a little sand shot here. For those of you who might struggle with the sand, this is excellent technique. Ball forward, club face open, picks it right up. And since he tends to get the face a little open anyway at the top, he has the thing in perfect position here. As he comes down, he stays in those legs, slips the club right under the ball. And as the club comes out on the left over here, you can see that club face still wide open. Gives him face control, gives him better club heads or ball spin, and gives you the right depth of divot. Okay, well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If it's your first time to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you like the video, hit that like button. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.